It's kind of crazy to think that just a couple of years ago, the idea of an AI creating a unique image from a simple sentence, well, it felt like straight up science fiction. But today, it's a reality, right on our phones and laptops. Generative AI is here, and it's this double-edged sword, a creative powerhouse on one hand and a source of some really profound new problems on the other. So let's unpack the peril and the promise of this technology that is, quite literally, reshaping our world.
Wow, right? That statement really cuts to the very core of the issue: trust. I mean, in a world that's getting flooded with AI-generated content, how can we possibly know what's real anymore? This erosion of authenticity, it isn't some far-off future problem. It's happening right now. To really get the stakes here, we need to look at what changed and why it all changed so incredibly fast. So here's the thing. AI has actually been part of our lives for years, mostly working quietly in the background. But what we're all experiencing now is different. There was a fundamental shift, a tipping point, when AI stopped just recognizing things and predicting things, and it started creating things. And this timeline, it really lays it all out. For years, we had what you'd call reactive AI. Think Face ID on your phone. Then came predictive AI, the recommendation engines that power Spotify and Netflix. But the real watershed moment was November 2022. With the public release of ChatGPT, generative AI just exploded into the mainstream. Suddenly, the power to create brand new content from scratch was in everyone's hands, and with that power came a whole new universe of problems.
And this brings us to, well, the dark side of this new reality. It's a problem so pervasive it's earned its own kind of fitting name: AI slop.
So what exactly is AI slop? To put it simply, it's the junk. It's that tidal wave of low-quality, inaccurate, and just plain fake content that's flooding our feeds, all because it's now practically free to produce. It's the digital noise that's making it harder and harder to find the signal of truth.
What's really tricky about all this is how convincing AI can be, even when it's completely and totally wrong. The source material for this explainer uses this brilliant metaphor: a painted door. The AI presents you with something that looks solid, it looks well constructed, it looks real, it looks like a doorway to actual information.
Okay, take this as a perfect example. An AI model was asked about its accuracy, and it confidently spit out this summary: 90 to 99% accuracy. Now, if you saw that, you'd think, wow, this thing is incredibly reliable, right? That is a very, very convincing painted door.
But this is the crucial lesson of the AI era. You always have to try and open the door. You have to check the sources. So what happened when they did?
Well, the reality was dramatically different. The AI had basically just cherry-picked the absolute best-case scenario. The source paper actually showed that, yeah, accuracy was high for simple sentences, but it plummeted to just 60% for complex ones. That's not a small error. That's fundamentally misleading. That painted door was hiding a foundation that was just crumbling.
And this isn't some isolated case, not by a long shot. A NewsGuard report found that news chatbots are just plain wrong 35% of the time. And what's truly alarming is that this rate of error, it doubled in a single year. The slop isn't just here, it's getting worse. And it's getting worse faster than we can keep up.
So where are we seeing all this slop in our daily lives? Oh, it's everywhere. It's in the deepfake videos spreading disinformation, those inaccurate summaries in our search results, and yeah, even in our music. Fake AI-generated artists are flooding Spotify, and one study found that a staggering 21% of clips on YouTube are now generated by AI. It's pretty much becoming unavoidable. Okay, so if our entire information landscape is this polluted, how are we supposed to teach critical thinking? Let's take a look at how education is trying to respond, or maybe struggling to respond. The approaches generally fall into three camps.
First, you've got the ban approach. This is the classic knee-jerk reaction to just treat AI as cheating. But this usually just leads to a big cat-and-mouse game. Next up is the bend approach, where schools are cautiously experimenting with limited use. The real goal, though, the holy grail, is the benefit approach, actually using AI to improve learning. The problem? That ideal, it's still the exception, not the rule. So the result of all this is what the source calls a smorgasbord of policies. There's no unified strategy. A student might find that what's considered a powerful learning tool in one classroom is treated as straight-up academic dishonesty in the classroom right next door. It's just chaotic and confusing for everyone. Okay, so we've seen the peril, we've seen the chaotic response, but let's not forget about that benefit approach we just mentioned. It's time to talk about the incredible promise of AI when we stop seeing it as a threat and start seeing it as a tool for, well, augmentation.
This is the real power of AI, not replacing us, but assisting us. I mean, imagine it handling all the tedious work, the rote tasks that just drain our energy, freeing us up to focus on strategy and creativity. We're already seeing this with smart tools baked right into apps like Gmail and Canva, quietly making our work smoother and faster.
And this brings us to what might be the most important choice we face, because the path forward isn't set in stone. It really comes down to two competing visions for AI's role in our lives, especially when it comes to learning.
On one hand, you've got the offload model, the chatbot for the child, where we basically outsource teaching to a machine. But on the other hand, there's the support model. In this vision, AI is a tool for the teacher, handling the routine stuff to free up humans to do what they do best: connect, inspire, and mentor. One path devalues human connection, the other empowers. And this quote just puts it perfectly. The ultimate goal shouldn't be to create smarter machines, but to use those machines to foster better human connection. It's about making sure technology serves us, not the other way around. At the end of the day, this is the real promise. AI's greatest potential isn't in what it can create, but in the human potential it can unlock. By automating the mundane, we can free up our time and our energy for the work machines can never, ever do: caring for each other, mentoring, and building real connections. So the technology is here, it's not going away. The choice isn't really whether to use it, but how. Are we going to let it become another painted door, a source of slop that pushes us further apart? Or will we harness it as a tool to open up more time and space for genuine human connection? That's the question we all have to answer.